Hello, everybody. I'm just waiting for some more people to come on. I can see the numbers going up nicely. So we'll just keep letting the numbers go up for a little bit. Hope you can, okay. Hope you've all had a good day. A few questions coming through already, but we'll deal with questions a little bit towards the end if that's okay. But keep firing your questions in, everybody. That'll be absolutely great. I'm just going to pop the screen on, and then you can okay. So, hope you can see that all right. I'm just going to perfect. Okay, so we've nearly got 300 people coming on, so I'll just give it a little bit longer if that's okay. Perfect. Right, okay everybody, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick off, and this evening we are focusing on immunity, supporting our immune health, and focusing especially around nutrition and also hydration. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Louise Riley, and I am a soaring manager, but also an advisory board member, and I'm an advisory board member for Forever UK, Ireland and Iceland, and an advisory board member alongside the wonderful David Urch. And what we have been doing is been training for the company, for me personally, for over 20 years, and as well as being a Forever business owner. What I really like to do is I enjoy sharing my knowledge with you to help you with your businesses, but also coming from the angle of being a Forever business owner myself. I really think that does help. So let me just move to the first slide. As you can see, I'm here with the lovely Gina Ryan, who is based over in Ireland, and I'm going to talk about immune health, and then I'm going to pass over to Gina later on, and she's going to share some more information with you to do with the power of water and how wonderful water is for your health and well-being. Okay, so let's start off by understanding a little bit about nutrition. The gap in nutrition. So this is the difference between what we're actually getting from food and what we actually need for optimal health. And I know a lot of people will say, well, surely if we're eating a healthy, well-balanced diet, we should be getting everything that we need. Unfortunately, we're all in a situation of, I suppose, having different choices in food. You know, it's depending on our lifestyle really, but lots of people will go for processed food, ready-made meals that we get in supermarkets that are full of preservatives. This can mean that they have low levels of nutrients, fast foods, takeaways, and even when people are on fad diets and believing that if they eat a certain kind of food or go on a certain kind of system for a period of time, they're going to be losing weight, but they're not actually considering the nutrients that are lacking in what they're doing. The other thing is when we look at the nutrients that we are getting in food, and this can be down to the different food chains, the way that food these days, the soil that food is grown in, especially our fruits and vegetables, we have to consider that the crop rotations, lack of minerals that we're getting in the soil, And in fact, there was a study that was done between 1978 and 1991 that said, on average, looking at vegetables from the ground, that there was 59% lacking in zinc from 1978 to 1991, and that report actually came out in 2003. So that was quite a while ago. So we don't know what it is today. Okay, what about the health of our digestive system? And we've heard the saying, you are what you eat. But for one of the things that's really important to me, it's about what you absorb. And part of our digestive system is absorption. So we have to make sure that the mechanics of our digestive system, which is from the moment we start to think about food, the saliva in our mouth, to the time that it is actually absorbed into our body from the villi in our small intestine. So that whole process has to be working correctly. What about lifestyle choices as well? This can be for people that maybe smoke, they drink, excessive exercise, which might sound a bit strange, but when you are exercising to a high level, you're actually putting your body under stress. So it's also, not overdoing things in certain ways, stimulants, and that's, say, the activity level as well. So with activity levels, it could be that you are doing too much or even not doing enough. And then finally in that section, it could be down to genetics. It's the way that we are, and maybe there's certain things that we cannot help. This is interesting. 49% of people aged 65 plus take a variety of medications every day. In fact, worryingly, people can actually be taking around about 5 different kinds of medications every day. So some of these, which you might not think are actually medications, but they are things that people will just take because it becomes a bit of a habit, or they're not addressing the challenge they have. So what about antacids if you get a little bit of a heartburn? Antibiotics, statins, diuretics, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. These are just a few of the things that people are taking on a regular basis. And it's the continuity of taking these kind of things that can also have an effect on our nutritional state. So you can see on the screen, there's a whole selection of different nutrients up there, as well as other few things as well. So we have B12, calcium, coenzyme Q10, folic acid, iron, magnesium, melatonin, which is a hormone, omega-3, our probiotics as well, which are also classed as healthy bacteria, and then the minerals selenium and zinc. So these have actually been shown that there are, in these particular areas, that having medication can have an effect on our body to be able to absorb these. Now, when I go to the next slide and you have a look, these are some of the nutrients that are going to contribute to the normal function of the immune system. And just look on there, the list of the ones that we've already mentioned, and it's been shown that maybe our body is struggling to get enough of those. So you can see B12, you can see zinc and selenium and folate on there. So these are really, really important for our immune system. Now, like every single part of our body has its own little recipe, what it needs. And even though these vitamins and minerals have different roles in the body, it's the ratios that our body requires. So our immune system requires a certain amount of them. And so even if you may be getting some of that into your body may decide which area of the body requires them. So maybe even though you are getting some selenium into your body or some copper into your body is making a decision where it needs to send that. So it is really important that when we are eating foods that we are considering eating nutrient-dense food, so we're getting enough of everything. So that is one of the important things. So let's just understand a little bit more about our immune system. The immune system that we have in our body is our body's defense system. It's a mechanism that is in place to protect our body from invasions, infection, pathogens like bacteria and viruses, and also illness. So our immune system it's very clever. It has different lines of defense, okay? So the first one, the first line of defense is actually from the outside of our body, and it is our skin. So our skin has its own layer of bacteria. Now, bacteria, often we hear about bacteria as being our microbiome. And in fact, on our skin, we probably have around about 500 different species of bacteria. And we need good bacteria because that is going to support, it's our body's natural defense system. So what is important that we need to keep that bacteria in balance, okay? Now, to be in balance, our body can kind of cope with like an 85% good and a 15% bad. So remember that our skin is our first line of defense. The next area that we have is actually inside our body, but it is also a skin. And this is our internal skin, and our internal skin is called our mucous membrane. And our mucous membrane actually is like the lining inside our body. So it's in your mouth, it's in your sinuses, it's into your esophagus. In fact, it goes into your lungs and it goes all the way through, right through into your urinary tract. But one of the important things is that, especially in the lining, in our sinuses as well, that is another area of defense. And then the one that a lot of people kind of consider is what we call our third line, is our immune response inside our body. And this is really our white blood cells. So I'm keeping it really, really simple tonight. We have our white blood cells. And we have some what we call non-specific, and we have specific. And they will attack at different levels. So as soon as something goes into the body that the body is not sure about, you have your first line that will head out there. So we have two main kind of cells there. You've probably heard of them, your B cells and your T cells, okay? So that is the three levels that we have, and it is important then that we support all three levels of defense for our immune health. Now, when it comes to our immune health, there are things that can compromise our immune health. And so it's important to kind of like look at supporting our body to be the best it can be. And these are some areas that you may want to consider. The first one is to support your immune health, make sure you're getting some exercise. Now, I know at this moment in time, people are looking at self-isolating and social distancing, which is a tough time, but depending on where you live and what you do, the exercise is really important because it's going to let go of those endorphins, which is to make you feel good. Another really important thing is to make sure that you can get some fresh air, okay? Because fresh air is going to make you feel good. And as much as you can then, if you can do some exercise outside, even if you can only get outside to do some stretching, even if you can get a chair and sit outside and get the sunshine on your face. Why? Because vitamin D is, as you've already seen, is going to support your immune health. And the best form of vitamin D comes from sun exposure. So if you can get the sun onto your face, and now, you know, the great thing is the springtime is here. We're starting to get some good days, mild days. So you need to make sure that you're getting out there. And the next one along on the list is sleep. So we need to try and get 8 hours of sleep. The reason for that is because we're going to then get 8 hours release of melatonin, and melatonin is important for your body to go through its recovery. So remember, everything that we're doing is to support our body to be healthy, to be strong. And as you probably know, that it's a good idea to try and get yourself into a way of finding an easy way to get to sleep, or a better way to get to sleep, to start to switch off. Maybe that means listening to some nice relaxing music, having a nice warming drink, having a bath, or anything like that. Find something that can help you to get your 8 hours sleep. The next one down is on your stress levels. So this is really important. In fact, I'm going to talk about stress in a little while in a little bit more detail. But generally speaking, you know, it is a stressful time at the moment, and it is not a good idea to overthink things, because that can really affect your immune health. And of course, we all know right now that our immune health is of utmost importance. So getting worried, getting stressed, that's going to release cortisol, because a stress hormone is cortisol, and that's not a good thing to keep releasing. So we want to kind of keep that down. So think about ways to reduce your stress levels, listening to music, laughing, maybe watching programs on the TV, or things that are going to make you laugh, make you smile, meditation. Also reading. This is a great time for our business to be reading and building up our knowledge, but finding a way to calm ourselves down. And then fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. Nature has made it really easy for us to identify foods that are rich sources of getting all the goodies that our body needs. So a rainbow of colour, that's the easiest way to identify foods that have these great vitamins and minerals in that we need to support our body's health. So for example, dark red, blue, blueberries, purples, reds, yellow, oranges. All of those colours, like on a rainbow, are really important for to put into your body to support your health. Greens, rich green colours as well, are packed full of minerals. Nuts and seeds, all of these wonderful things should be part of your diet on a daily basis. And you've heard about getting your 5 a day. Well, increase that if you can to 10 a day, but make sure you're increasing more on the vegetable side. Because if you have more fruits, you're then obviously putting sugars into your body. But look at a way in increasing those foods right now. And then we have drinking water. Water is really good for your body, so it's a nutrient in its own right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that because Gina will. But one of the things that it does, it's going to, from those fruits and vegetables, all those goodies you're getting in, it's going to support your body with digestion. So of course, remember I said digestion starts in your mouth. So when you're eating foods and drinking water, it's going to help with the movement of the things in your mouth right down into the next part of digestion, which is into your stomach. And in your stomach, you then have hydrochloric acid, which will take on to the next stage of breaking down food through digestion. So the whole process, water has so many different roles in the body. It's creating the right environment, and so make sure that you are keeping your body well topped up with water, as we're going to talk about later. And then the final one on here is washing your hands. Now, there's been a big thing about washing your hands. I've got some products I'm going to share with you later. But the important thing here is that we don't want to be lots of people without realizing it, especially if people are working on computers. They keep to touching their face. And of course, whatever is on your hands, the pathogens on your hands, whether it's bacteria or viruses, can then be passed on further into your body. And so just to make sure that you're really keeping your hands right now squeaky clean, I'm going to give you a few products to look into that. So I think the main thing for me is that supporting our body's health is a 3-legged stool. I've just spoken about 2 of the legs. Okay, the first leg is your mindset. Okay, so to keep your mindset strong and healthy, reduce your stress levels, have good focus, and then make sure you are keeping that in tip-top condition. And then the next leg of the stool is to look at what you're doing with your intake of goodness. So looking at your diet, your water, and then your exercise and your sleeping pattern. So, you know, those are the two legs. And then the third leg is the support that you can give if you're prepared to be doing the other two. And that is where we step in at Forever, where we can bring in nutritional support. But please remember, they all support each other, okay? And I think that is the key thing to look at. So lots of people are asking me at this moment in time, you know, what are we going to be taking? What would you suggest as a support to our immune health? Well, obviously, the first product I'm going to be talking about is actually drinking aloe vera. Now, I have lots of people saying to me about what would you suggest as a base? This is the base. So I'm going to give you some very, very simple things to focus on. Aloe vera contains a whole cocktail of nutrients, and it's these nutrients that are going to support the body to be in balance. And of course, we're focusing, I could talk about lots and lots of different things, but we're focusing on immune health. Now, within our drinking gels, we have in the Tetra Packs, as you can see on the slide, we have added some extra vitamin C. So when you can see how vitamin C is, it has so many roles in the body, and one of them is on our immune system. When you are drinking 100 mils of aloe vera, especially the aloe vera gel and the berry nectar, that is going to give you 70% of your recommended intake, okay? Now, vitamin C is something that is recommended at the moment to take. So one of the things that is a very, very simple thing to do is to consider how much aloe you are drinking. So why not drink more aloe vera? To me, that makes total sense. Let's just drink more aloe. So think about how much you're drinking at the moment, and why not set yourself a goal to drink more, because that is the most simple thing to do without trying to add in loads and loads of different things. Just drink more aloe. Aloe vera is, as I say, it has the whole cocktail of nutrients. Now, if you are going to be drinking the peaches, then that does have less vitamin C in it, but it still has the same cocktail of nutrients in there. But as I said, at this moment in time, we are focusing on our immune health. So to keep it really simple then, your aloe, start to drink more, okay? Set yourself that goal. So the next things that I would recommend, I'm going to move first of all to the Forever Active Pro B. The reason I'm going to the Forever Active Pro B is because this would be the second product that I would recommend. So I like my 1, 2, 3s. This would be the second one. And the reason for this is because 70% of our immune system resides in our gut. If you want to have a good immune system, to be in balance, our body is constantly striving to be normal, to be in balance, to be in homeostasis, then we also need to support our gut health, okay? So 70% of our immune system resides in our gut, so it makes total sense to look after our gut health. What we have in our gut, as I've already mentioned, on our skin, is our microbiome. So we have our microbiome also, which is kind of a whole array of bacteria, good bacteria, resides inside our body. And once again, to kind of get those ratios right, we're 85% to 15. That is the best thing to look at. So this is a very, very special one, because what we want to make sure is that the bacteria are still going to be able to colonize when they actually reach the gut. So Forever, to me, this really sums up how wonderful our products are, because we always care about what we call the bioavailability, okay? That it's not just about what you eat or what you absorb, it's how your body can use what you have actually put into your body. So what happens is we've got these bacteria that have been put to sleep. They're like being put in a coma. And this has been done through a process called cryotechnology. And so we've got these sleeping bacteria, and they've been put in this little plant cellulose capsule. And then inside that capsule, we've added some fibre, because these bacteria feed on fibre. And this is going to support the sleeping bacteria on the journey, the long, arduous journey that need to take to get right down to our gut. Because, of course, those bacteria have got to survive the hydrochloric acid that we have in our stomach and the digestive enzymes. And so when the plant cellulose little capsule starts to melt away and dissolve, then these bacteria will wake up, and they've had a nice sleep, so they've got strength. And then you think, oh, they're a bit hungry, so they can eat on the fibre, and then that's going to support them to colonise. So that's literally how it works. Now, as you can see from the slide, there's 8 billion lactic acid, and there's 6 different strains. Our bodies all have their own setting, you might say. It's like their own internal DNA kind of thing. And so we've all been in contact with different bacteria, so it's important we have a variety of strains. Now, some people will say, oh, at this moment in time, should I take 2 of the Pro B? And actually, no, because this is strong enough, 1 isn't enough. And let me explain why. Is because sometimes if you take too much, then there isn't enough room for the bacteria to colonise. Imagine if you've got 200 car parking spaces in a multi-storey car park and 400 cars arrive, then there's 200 cars that can't park and they have to leave. So actually taking more, this has been designed so it is in perfect balance for what your body needs. So that's my 1 and my 2. So once again, if people are asking, what do I take right now? Drink more aloe and incorporate 1 of those magic little capsules every day. That's keeping it really, really simple. So the next products that I'm going to recommend are those that are kind of like add-in ones. And I know that some of these might be in and out of stock, so I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview to the ones that I've chosen and why I've chosen them. So the next product that I would add in would be the Forever ImmuBlend. And that is, as you can see, it has those 3 key nutrients in there: vitamin C, vitamin D and zinc, which I've already mentioned supports your immune health. But then we also have these other ingredients. And I just think that actually nature is really clever, and our bodies are really clever, and how everything it works. So there's this ingredient called lactoferrin. And lactoferrin, it's found in your body naturally, and one of the things it does, it's a protein, and it will bind itself to iron, as you can see the word ferrin there, which is obviously iron. But also in the body, it is found in the non-specific part of our immune system as well. And then we have this really exciting blend of mushrooms, which has also been added in there. So once again, this is something that it's designed to take a couple a day. If you want to double up, you can double up. So it's a great product, as the name implies, for supporting your immune health, especially because of the CD and zinc. Now, some of the ones that you might want to add in is the garlic, the lycium, and the bee propolis. So as I said, I find that nature is fascinating, and that's why we can learn such a lot from nature and botanicals. Let's talk about the Forever Garlic and Thyme. So in the garlic, the smelly bit in garlic is called allicin, and that's why you need to make sure that when you are taking garlic, you are actually having the smelly bit. And this allicin, it serves as a defense. In the garlic in the garlic bulb itself, it serves as a defense. It's quite interesting, really, because you get a reaction from the enzymes in the garlic when the plant is under threat or threatened, which is quite fascinating. So that's a little bit from nature on garlic. And then the next one along is probably one that a lot of people haven't even thought about. And this is an amazing, amazing product. So with the garlic, you need to be taking 3 a day. And then with the lyceum, also you need to be taking 3 a day. And the lyceum is also known under the name of goji berries, or also wolfberry. Lots of people have heard about goji berries. So they are known for having a really, really important polysaccharide. And then the other ingredient there is licorice extract. Now, it's not the licorice that you would get from a shop in sweets. We're talking about licorice extract. And what's interesting about different plants is that they have soapy substance in them called saponins, and aloe contains saponins as well. And if you got aloe, for example, and did this, it kind of goes a little bit foams or soapy in your hands. And the same thing with licorice, it has saponins. So of course we know that it's really important that we keep our tubes nice and clean, and that's the great thing about licorice and the saponins in there. So once again, it's something that you may not have considered, but it's a fabulous product that we have in the range. And then the Forever Bee Propolis. So let me explain what propolis is. Once again, isn't it amazing what nature comes up with? So propolis is kind of like sticky glue resin that you see oozing out of trees, wood and plants. And what bees will do, they will collect this propolis and they will metabolize it with their enzymes. And then when they take this into the hive, they will do things like line the hive with it, they stick their honeycomb together with it, and if there is an invasion from outside, they will cocoon that invasion with propolis. In fact, propolis comes from the Greek word meaning, Greek word before the city, meaning, like, once again, it's the line of defense. So as I say, if propolis is good enough for the bees for protection, then it's good enough for me. So that is a selection of products that you can take right now with the propolis again. A couple of those. So once again, you're kind of a bit of a mix and match there, but definitely my 1 and 2 would be the drinking gel, drink more aloe, okay? And then on top of that, take your Pro Bee, and then you've got a selection of other supplements that you can add in. Now, I did say that our skin is the first line of defense, and it is really important that we are washing our hands. You've heard all over the news at the moment the importance of washing our hands. So what I love about the aloe hand soap is that it is so gentle, and it feels like it is moisturizing your hands as well. Now, of course, we know that if you're washing your hands a lot, and of course we've all been advised to be washing our hands even more so, is that our hands can start to dry a little bit. So one of the challenges you have with some conventional soaps that you get out and about, they may be quite high with their pH and their alkaline pH, and they could be hitting a pH of around about 9 and 11. So that it could be quite drying to the skin. So ours is a mild product. So definitely we have our aloe hand soap. Now, please remember that it is important that when we are washing our hands, that we are not just washing them for, as we've heard, singing happy birthday or for 30 seconds, but to make sure that we are washing our hands properly. So the first thing that you'd be doing with the aloe hand soap is to put water on your hands first of all. Then you put a pump of the hand soap into the palm of your hands. So you're really going to lather it up. Now, the reason that you're going to be doing this is because the hand soap, as all soaps do, that contains lipids. Now, if you've got anything that you don't want on your hands, then you need to deal with it. Now, just as an example, if you take something like a virus, the coating of the virus is actually lipids as well. So what you want to do is kind of break it down. It's a bit like if you've got a paintbrush and you put a paintbrush into something like terps, the terps is going to dissolve the paint off the brush. So anything that's on our hands we don't want to, we need to kind of dissolve the coating. So that's important. But doing that is not enough, because where can we find other pathogens? The key areas that pathogens might be on the fingertips, under the nails, and also the backs of the hands. So that is why it's important that we are really, really washing in between our fingers and our thumbs, nails, underneath our nails, and the backs of our hands. That is why it is important that we spend our time washing our hands correctly. So if you prefer, you could use the aloe and avocado soap as well, if you prefer to have a bar of soap. Now, please remember, both of these products are multi-purpose. So when you're talking to your customers, they're products they don't just have to use on their hands. They can use them in the bathroom, they can use them in the shower, they can use them in the bath. You can use the products for so many different things. So they are multi-purpose products. Then you're probably asking, why have I got the balancing toner on there? That's because as we're washing our hands more, okay, once we've washed our hands, we've then got to think about making sure that we are putting all the goodness back into our hands, because we don't want our hands to go dry. The last thing we want is our hands going dry and cracked, because then we know pathogens will go, oh, look where I can go and settle. And that's the last thing that we want. So we need to kind of put everything back in. Within the balancing tone, and this is one of my favorite products, it contains hyaluronic acid. Okay, we have hyaluronic acid in some of our other skincare, but this is the one that I would go to. And hyaluronic acid is naturally occurring in our body. We find it in numerous places around our body, but we do find it in abundance in our skin. And what's interesting about hyaluronic acid, I want you to imagine that it's like a little pieces of sponge, okay? And we all know that when sponge gets wet, it's going to expand, but it's going to absorb things in. And what's interesting about hyaluronic acid, it has the ability to hold 1,000 times its own weight in moisture. So it's a great way to attract moisture into our skin, okay? So one of the things that I would do is that when you have washed your hands, you literally get some balancing toner and put it all over your hands, okay? I use this product morning and night anyway. So what I do when I'm using, if you are using this product anyway for your face, think about, this is what I do. I put it onto my hands and then I put it onto my face. I don't want the hyaluronic acid in my piece of cotton wool. I want the hyaluronic acid in my skin. So I'm putting it onto my face, and then what's left, I literally do that. So if you're using that product, start to make sure you're putting it all over your hands as well. If you aren't using that product, I would definitely go and get it. That's one of my most favorite ones. Now, once we've done that, we need to kind of keep everything in, okay? So the aloe propolis cream is the one that I'd go to. I've explained what propolis is, and now we've got that wonderful aloe vera. Obviously, aloe vera has the same pH as our skin, so it's perfect for all skin types. So we've got the aloe and the propolis, but when you put this on, it's a nice, rich, thick cream, and it's very nourishing. And also when you put it on, it's great. It feels as though you've got an extra barrier on your hands. So that's my 1, 2, 3. So we are going to be cleaning, we're going to be feeding with the hyaluronic acid, and we're going to be sealing with the aloe propolis cream, okay? So that is definitely my 1, 2, and 3. And as I said, that these are great products for everybody. And to me, I've actually got these products for my mum for Mother's Day, because you know, my mum's a special lady. I would rather give her these products than a box of chocolates. So maybe think about that for Mother's Day. Right, just a few extra things I want to go through before I hand over to Gina. I want to talk about stress for a moment. So when we're born, we're 90% water, but just through life, that our body can actually be around about 50 to 70% water. And what can happen is that our body can become stressed if we haven't got enough water in our body. Now, water is a key nutrient, and what happens is that it's interesting that cells, they will become stressed if they don't have enough water. We have approximately 40 trillion cells in our body, and they all need to have water. So I want you to think about your stress levels right now. Are you worrying about things? Are things getting on top of you? Is it that feeling of the unknown? And I obviously I get all of that, but let's just see what can happen, and you understand why, if we're getting stressed, it can also affect the cells in our body. So there's 4 different levels of stress. First of all, acute. So acute stress can be, you know, when our fight or flight kicks in, the adrenaline goes off, and this is very intense, it's short-lived, and we start to, things happen within our body. So your heart may start to race, your breathing can get faster, or it can go shallow. So your breathing is changing. You might feel that you want to go to the toilet. Either way, you might start to get hot and sweaty and perspire. So all of those things can lead to water loss. Okay, I just want you to think about those breathing changes, going to the toilet, perspiration. You can all lose water. The other thing is your body is stressed out, acute stress, that the water will move to the areas it needs to. So one of the things you often will find is you get a dry mouth. So this is acute stress. Now, the chronic stress is the day-to-day stress that we have. It's that ongoing stress. Now, it's the mild thing, that is kind of a mild form of the above, but you're still going to have the effects of losing water, but rather over short periods of time. It's because these day-to-day stresses are going on, you're still going to be losing the water in kind of a more of a longer period of time. So small amounts over a longer period of time, if that makes sense, rather than more in a shorter period of time. And then we have external stress. So those are things that we don't have any control over at all, but we take it all on board. So the external factors, worrying about what's going on in the outside world, a lot of people are doing that right now. It could be work, it could be other people's reactions to what they're doing, or overthinking things, finances. This is external threat, so stress. And as I say, a lot of that is out of your control because it's happening in the outside world. And then we have the internal stress. So internal stress can be down to a lot of things I've already mentioned. That can be down to taking too many stimulants, refined sugar, alcohol, smoking, bad nutrition in your diet, and it could also be a sluggish system that you've got. So maybe there's more toxins hanging around in your body. These are all internal. And the other thing that's a big thing for stress is your inner thoughts, and it's the language that we speak to ourselves. So these are and also not drinking enough water, which I'm going to just park that for now. But you know, when we think about all these things, that we know that the stress that we are around can have an effect on what is happening inside our body, not just from a nutritional point of view, but also from a water content. So just think about that for a moment, your stress levels. So water, we can survive for days, even weeks, without food, even though we don't think we can. but you need water daily. And it's the first thing that you should go to is drinking water before you go and eat food. So some of the things that water is needed for within our body, it contributes to normal physical and cognitive functions. So your cognitive functions is your memory, your reasoning, and your knowledge, and also to help to regulate the body's temperature. So generally speaking, you would need to be drinking at least 2 litres of water every day. Now we have water in foods. I'm going to leave that because Gina's going to cover that. But one of the things that we sometimes don't realise is that carbohydrates do hold on to a lot of water. Carbohydrates come in different forms, from your bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, and also your fruits and vegetables. So you do have hidden water in foods. And sometimes there's a bit of a guideline. So the nutrients that we're putting in our body from our food, they need to be in the right environment so they can all work together. And the right environment is in water. So as an example, if you are having 2,500 calories a day, you need to have 2.5 litres of water. And of course, the great news is, why would you want to drink more aloe right now as well, is because the aloe content there's 98 to 99% of aloe is actually water, okay? And then all those wonderful nutrients that we have is in that other percentage, but they all work together, they work synergistically together. So that is another reason why you need to be topping up your aloe right now. Okay, so we can get water in lots of different ways. Just one thing I want to say here is that if you are having your fruit juices and your smoothies, we kind of say about 6 to 8 glasses of fluid every day, but just kind of make sure that you are not overdoing with your fruit juices, because that will actually have quite a bit of sugar. So this is really important to understand, that water is a key nutrient and it is often overlooked. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to pass over to Gina. If I can just, oh, here she is. I'm just going to, right, okay. I'll be quiet. I don't know why, but it's not coming up. I can.
That's perfect. You can hear me okay anyway, can you?
Yeah. I'll just be quiet.
Okay, perfect, no problem. So thank you so much, Louise. That was absolutely amazing, as always. I could listen to you all night long. So my name is Gina Ryan. I started my business with Forever 5 years ago. At the time when I started, I wasn't in a very good place. I suppose that slide that Louise showed with all the medication brought back a lot of memories. I suppose I had a lot of different joint complaints, and I suppose I was at a stage then of really exploring more of an holistic approach of getting myself well. I suppose that's what I loved about Forever. That's what I loved about Louise's approach, is that they look at health in an overall picture. I changed my lifestyle totally. I really started looking at the physical exercise that I was doing, looked at working on my mindset, looked at changing my nutrition, and looked at taking some natural nutritional supplements to support me. So massive, massive change. I went on then to study sports and exercise nutrition. I have a real passion of helping people get nutrition right for them to achieve their goals. My sister had also lost 11 stone in weight. That's another reason why I'm naturally interested in nutrition, I suppose. But I suppose I would like to say that from studying nutrition, most of what I know and most of what I use that's practical information has come from Louise's trainings, definitely. So, you know, take that on board whenever you see Louise's trainings coming up, make sure you are there. You hear of people, I think, following their favorite band. I think I followed Louise Riley around Ireland like that whenever she's here doing a training. So there's always brilliant content there. So you can see here on the screen, we're going to talk about water. We're going to talk about hydration. Globally at the minute, it is International Nutrition and Hydration Week this week. A little bit fitting, I suppose, of what's going on, that we all really to start looking at our nutrition, looking at our hydration, looking at how we can best support our immune system. Water for me is so important. It is an essential nutrient. And I don't think people are mindful of water in that way, I don't think they stop and actually really appreciate the power of what water can have in your body. Louise already mentioned the human body as an adult is mostly between 50 and 70% made up of water. So an average of 60% of your body is water. Every single cell in your body, those 40 trillion cells plus that we have in our body, your tissues, your organs, they're looking for water. They're looking for your body to be hydrated properly, to be of optimum performance. Your brain, we talked about your cognitive function, it's coming back to how hydrated your body is. Your heart, your blood, so many things are coming back to, are you actually feeding your body enough water? It's going to regulate your body temperature, which is so, so important. It's going to help to remove any toxin buildup. So it's going to help that your organs are working properly. Your liver, your kidney, everything can work properly when your body is hydrated properly. It keeps your joints lubricated. So even from a performance in sports, hydration is so, so important. Overall health, again, going back to all your tissues, your muscles, your cells, your mind health, everything is coming back to, are you well hydrated? We'll skip to the next slide there, Louise, please. Can see the cursor is moving, there we go. So how much water should we have? You'll often hear people kind of say, oh, I'm brilliant, I drink 6 litres of water a day. You can have too much water because you'll start to flush the sodium out of your body. It's about looking and seeing how much is right for you. I think I robbed this saying from one of Louise's trainings. Picture your body as a sink without the plug. So it's constantly been flushed through your body, flushing out the toxin buildup, helping your organs work correctly, but it constantly needs to be topped back up again. So just be mindful about it. Are you actually consuming enough? Are you constantly topping up that sink because the plug is out? 2 litres a day, as Louise already mentioned, is the average guide. So in around the 8-ounce glasses. 8-ounce glasses is the guide, but it does need to be looked at as a person, as an individual. So for example, Louise's slide explained it as well. If there was a man that needed to consume 2,500 calories a day, he would need 2.5 litres of water a day. If there was somebody's body that needed to consume 4,000 calories a day, they would need 4 litres of water. So it does have to be looked at on an individual level also. We'll move on there, Louise. Brilliant. So it's important that we look at hydration. And when we say hydration, we don't just mean water, okay? We look at fluid. Fluid is what's going to hydrate your body. So a certain amount of your coffees can count, you'll be glad to hear. A safe limit will be in around the 400. So it's about looking at what else you can use to hydrate your body, looking at your herbal teas and looking at making some positive changes. So I suppose a lot of people would say to me, I could never see myself actually drinking 2 or 2.5 litres of water a day. So if that's you, that's probably not going to be the case tomorrow. You're not going to be drinking 2.5 litres tomorrow. So look at making changes and look at what else you can do to support your body through making those changes. So I suppose I help people a lot with weight management, and I might have somebody coming to me that's drinking nothing but fizzy drinks. If I tell them stop drinking your 2 litres of Coca-Cola a day and now drink 2 litres of water a day, it's probably not going to happen. So we need to look at what positive changes that we can make. So first of all, adding different fruits to it. I love particularly lemons and limes, or I love cucumbers in it. If that's still a bit too far out there for you, let's bring it back another bit. Could you change maybe to fizzy water? Could you put maybe a cordial in it to flavour it? It's just about making positive changes, and bit by bit you will get to that stage of drinking the 2 to 2.5 litres. So it's not overnight perfection. It's about looking at the most important thing is keep your body hydrated, mainly from water, but you can count your herbal teas, a certain amount of your teas, your coffees, a certain amount of things that way as well. But look at making positive changes. Set yourself a little bit of a target and work towards it. If we can move again there, Louise. So food, as Louise mentioned already, a lot of foods are very, very high in water. And I suppose you can see it obviously in some foods, the likes of cucumber and watermelon, they're very watery to eat. But what might surprise people is the likes of an avocado. Avocado is one of my favorite foods, but that surprises some people. So even courgettes, strawberries, they're so high in water. And Louise mentioned already the importance of eating the rainbow, the importance of eating more vegetables if you can. upping it to 10 a day now, not even just looking at the 5 a day. So just knowing that that's going to help you in a number of different ways. It's obviously going to help increase the amount of vitamins and minerals, the different nutrients that you're getting, but it's also going to help increase your fluid intake as well. So making a big conscious effort to increase your vegetables will really go a long way to increase your body of being properly hydrated as well. So making that conscious effort that you're not just settling for the 1 or 2 different vegetables, you're going for variety, you're going for eating the rainbow, to making sure that you're getting enough nutrients in, but then that you're going to also increase your water intake by eating those foods as well. Again there, Louise. Okay, so the products that we do in Forever to help support your hydration. So I suppose I'm really, really passionate, as is Louise, that it has to be an overall picture. You have to start with what you're feeding your body. So what you're actually consuming, as in drinks or foods. You have to work on your mindset. It's an overall picture of wellness. And then we thankfully have some amazing products to help and support you on that journey. So looking at our aloe vera gel, first of all, Louise done a brilliant presentation on the power of aloe vera, why it's important. She also mentioned how aloe vera is 98 to 99% water, and it's a whole cocktail of nutrients, and it is that synergistically effect of all those 75 different nutrients that makes aloe so powerful. So I suppose I've always drank for the last 5 years at least 150 mils of aloe every day. And now after upping it, as Louise said, it's the first thing to do is up your aloe. So I'm drinking one of these baby aloes every day, which is up to 330 mils. So it's really, really important to increase the aloe for all those vitamins and minerals you're going to get in that perfect balance, but you're really increasing your water intake as well. So looking at what aloe is right for you, and definitely increasing that will be definite starting point. Our RG Plus. That's one of my best-selling products, and probably my second best-selling product after our aloe vera gels. That's an amazing product. So I suppose this is about looking at what you're actually drinking with extra benefits. So extra nutritional benefits in what you're drinking. So it's not a case of just you're drinking for the sake of drinking. It's about being more mindful about it. So the likes of drinking our RG Plus is going to give you your L-arginine, which is fantastic for your cardiovascular health, but it's also going to give you so many vitamins as well. It's very high in vitamin C. Louise mentioned, very important for the immune system. It's an amazing supplement. Very high in vitamin D as well, which we know is very important for the immune system. But again, I think it just gets you more mindful that what you're drinking is having an impact in your body. You're not just drinking for the sake of drinking it. You're drinking it because it is feeding your body, it's fueling your mind, it's helping with those nutritional benefits. We have our aloe blossom tea, which I'd see as being a lovely calming tea. And I suppose with stress everyone's going through at the minute, it's very, very important to make sure we're keeping our bodies as stress-free as we possibly can. It's a lovely calming tea. I often have it before bed, which is when most of our heads will start to go in overdrive and stress levels go through the roof, for me anyway. We have our Forever Light Ultra Shake, which is going to give you in one scoop 50% of your recommended daily intake of all your vitamins and minerals. So again, you're drinking but with extra nutritional benefits. We have our super greens, particularly high in vitamin C, vitamin E and magnesium. A lot of people are deficient in magnesium. So again, those extra benefits. You have the likes of our Fab is going to give you more electrolytes, the likes of the Pomestine Power, full of so many different fruits. So again, I would just say when you're drinking, be as mindful as you sometimes are when you're eating, as I hope you're going to get more of when you're eating. So I suppose a lot of people, they would stop and think twice about maybe having a cake if they're out in a cafe, but they mightn't stop and think so hard into having their mocha or their hot chocolate or something like that. So what I would just say to you is just look at what you're drinking in the same way as what you're eating, and especially if you're looking at weight management. My sister that I mentioned at the start that lost 11 stone in weight a few years ago, she looks at drinks, certain drinks, as being liquid donuts. You know, so do just be mindful about what you're drinking as much as you are about what you're eating as well. Move on there, Louise, please. Great, so some tips. So it's about, as I said, making improvements. So it's not going to be all perfect tomorrow, but it's about looking at getting you there. So look at drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Most people's bodies will be fairly dehydrated after hopefully an 8-hour sleep. So start to drink a glass of water before every meal is a very, very good habit. Water is so important for digestion as well. And we know a healthy gut, a healthy digestive system is so important for your immune system. So make that a good habit. Drink a glass of water as you're taking up the meal or just before you eat. Set some reminders on your phone, or there is some apps now as well to actually help you manage, are you drinking enough water? Because until it becomes a habit, you will need something to really keep you on track, okay? So look at having a water bottle at hand, look at always having a glass of water beside you, whatever you're doing. That is the best way I find of actually getting through enough water, is constantly make sure it's on hand, so that you're not having to stop and think, okay, I'm going to go and get a glass of water. Just always have one with you. Look at adding different fruits, as I mentioned. So maybe lemons and limes, they're going to help to keep the body even more alkaline. And add in different things that suit you. So whether it's strawberries, whether it's orange slices, whether I said it's cordial and fizzy water, whatever it needs to be for now to start making some of those positive changes. And remembering it's so important to keep all those toxins actually moving from your body. If you're hungry, often you're actually thirsty. So starting off that, if you feel a little bit peckish, maybe I need a bit of a snack, just start having a glass of water first. And if you're still hungry, then obviously you're hungry, but start and see, maybe I could actually be thirsty first. If we can move again, Louise. Okay, so some of the main benefits in keeping your body well hydrated. Weight management, I think, is one that a lot of people would like to hear. That's a benefit. How is it going to be of benefit? Because I suppose it's going to help clear that toxin buildup. It's going to help your organs work how they need to work. Your body is going to be doing what it needs to do. Your cells, your organs, everything is working how it needs to work. So your metabolism is probably going to be improved. You're going to look at reducing your water retention. So a lot of people say, but how come drinking more water won't make you retain more water? Because purely by drinking the optimal amount of water that your body is looking for, it doesn't have a need to hang on to it anymore. So everything again is getting back into balance. Your body is becoming into the real state where it needs to be. It's in homeostasis. It's actually working how it needs to work. So you're not going to be retaining what you should be retaining in water retention and toxic buildup in the same way. It's also going to help to reduce your appetite if it's actually out of balance. So it's going to help keep your body again where it needs to be. It's going to have a very positive impact on your muscles and on your joint health, because it's very important to lubricate your joints. In turn, that's going to have a very positive impact if you're performing in sports or fitness as well. Your skin's appearance. So think about your skin. I think we all want the better skin as we can possibly get. So I suppose even picture a plump, juicy grape that's well hydrated. Your skin can be well hydrated and be plump. Or do you want it to be shriveled up and dehydrated like a prune? Because that is the impact hydration can have on your skin. Headaches. A lot of people that suffer headaches are actually purely dehydrated. It can help your energy levels. It can help your mood. You have a nerve called the vagus nerve directly connecting your gut to your brain. So again, if you're doing everything you can to keep your gut in balance, get digestive where it needs to be, you'll see a very positive impact on your mood. Your metabolism, as I mentioned, is going to help. Sleep. So many different benefits to keeping your body hydrated. And you'll actually find when you get in the habit of doing it, you'll actually find that you recognize when your body is dehydrated. At the minute, you might be kind of thinking, yeah, I don't drink too much, but I don't think I'm dehydrated. When you get to a stage of keeping your body well hydrated, you will not be able to go the day without at least that 2 liters of fluid to keep your body hydrated. So you'll become to recognize when your body is out of balance and when your body actually needs a bit more support. So the next slide, please, Louise, is just about building that habit. So it's about just taking the chance now. I suppose we're all at home, so there's no excuse of the office doesn't let me have enough water by the desk or whatever the case is. A lot of people are at home now. So I suppose step up and take a little bit of responsibility now for what we can do to look at our own nutrition and our own hydration, to really look at, okay, I can actually exercise even if I'm at home. I can put on YouTube videos. I can work on my mindset. I can meditate. I can focus on what I'm grateful for. I can really look at, am I eating the rainbow? Am I making a conscious effort to feed my body, fuel my body, feed my mind? Am I making a conscious effort to really hydrate my body? Am I focusing on drinking enough water? So what I say is just focus today, make a little bit of a start, and just focus on making improvements. It's not going to be perfect overnight. So just look at building it as a habit. And I tell you, you will not be able to go a day without your 2 to 2.5 liters of water when you come to recognize what being hydrated feels like. So I hope you got some little bit of value from that. Louise is now going to join me back and we're going to open up to some questions that have come in. I can see a lot of questions coming in. So Louise will have a little skim through and see what we can answer for people. Thanks, Louise.
Well, I'd love to if it would open up, but it won't open. So,
oh wait, no, it's open. It's opening for me here, so I'll have it.
You've got it opening your end. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do the questions then. Okay.
I don't know why that happened. So let me just have a quick skim through and see what we can answer. I think you've answered. There's ones coming in. What supplements can we best recommend to support people's health right now? Louise definitely covered that very well. What's the youngest age you can start taking the kids' vitamins? It says age 3 on the tub. What else have we got? Tell us about the propolis tablets. You covered that, Louise. Is the MPD a sanitizer? I don't think we could call it a sanitizer, could we, Louise?
No. I mean, it's just a multi-purpose detergent, so we can't make any claims. I mean, obviously, it's a great product to use around your home right now, but we can't be making any claims about that.
Is there any supplements, Louise, that you would say should not be taken together at the same time?
The general rule really is taking something that is high in fibre with some good fats, good oils. So I wouldn't take the Arctic Sea. Yeah, I wouldn't take the Arctic Sea and the lean or the Forever Fibre at the same time. It's just because fibre will kind of grasp extra fats and eliminate them from the body.
And how much aloe would you recommend for a 7-year-old, please?
Okay, so my whole thing about drinking aloe is that generally speaking, people will say, at what age can I start drinking aloe? Well, as a parent, it's your decision when you want to start putting your child onto solids, for example. So there isn't a hard and fast rule how much anybody should drink. It's all down to your preference. So first of all, when you make a decision as a parent that you want to start giving your child aloe, generally speaking, it might be from when you make a decision you want to put your child onto solids, and you start to give them a little bit of apple puree on a spoon. You might want to think, oh, I could give my child a little bit of aloe on a teaspoon. But then how much to drink? Well, it's exactly the same thing. How much apple puree would you give your child? As much as it wants. So I think, let's be honest, the amount that you give a child is probably down to you thinking how much it's going to be costing. So I want you to understand it's absolutely fine for your 7-year-old to drink the same amount as you if you want to do that. So just let your child enjoy aloe.
Great answer. And my little boy is only 7 months old and he drinks it out of his little cup every morning. He loves it. Can children our Pro B, and from what age?
Okay, yes, children can take probiotics. Remember that our products are basically designed for adults, but with a probiotic, some children are given probiotics when they're in hospital because they have not had the privilege of being able to have their immune system starting to be built up, because if they're born through cesarean section, if they are in an incubator and they haven't had contact with their mum, the immune system is going to start to kick in when they have contact with their mum. So they have to have probiotics at a young age to build their microbiome. So I want you to think logically, when your child can swallow a tablet, that would be the time really, and obviously supervised.
Okay, perfect, thanks a million. Someone asked, is it still effective if I take the aloe at night, not on an empty stomach? I'd say yes. Is that what we're right in saying yes, it's still effective? Perfect. Mushroom, Louise, why would that be important for the immune system? Why is it in
mushrooms? It's something I can't really answer because I'll be talking in a non-compliant way, but I would suggest you go do some research on, look on the back of the ImmuBlend and look at the mushrooms in there. I'm just going to do a bit of your own research on why people would enjoy things like Foti mushrooms from Chinese medicine.
Perfect. Someone asking, did I say 1 scoop contains 50% of the recommended daily intake of your vitamins and minerals? Yes, it does. Let me see what else we've been asked. Is our hand soap antibacterial? I would say no. Is that right, Louise?
Yeah, and also I've had this question asked me as well. And, you know, at this moment in time, people are looking more to look at viruses. So you don't need to be looking at products that are antibacterial. And really, soap is soap. It's the lipids in the soap that you need to dissolve or have an effect on the coating of things like viruses.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. If I haven't answered your question, it's probably because it has a medical terminology or medical question as part of it, which we can't answer. We're not doctors, we're not medically trained. So if I haven't answered your question, that's probably the reason. What else have we here? What's the difference between the aloe activator and the aloe toner? Well, they're totally different products, really.
Yeah, basically the aloe activator, it doesn't have hyaluronic acid in it. It's the hyaluronic acid you're looking for at this moment in time. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we can answered, Louise. Thank you so much. Very, very knowledgeable as always and very enjoyable. Thank you so much.
And thank you very much, Gina, as well. And I believe that we're doing a duo next week as well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So I know there's still some questions that are there. If we have the ability to answer those questions, everybody out there, and because looking on here, there is nearly 80 questions. So obviously, I know a lot of you want to go and get yourself a cuppa or something else now, put your feet up and relax. So we will do our best to answer those other questions if we can. But I hope that our section has helped you, and please go and look after yourself. Go and talk to your friends and family about our wonderful products, and especially to support the most important thing at this moment, and that is your immune health. So thank you very much for Gina for being here this evening, and good evening everybody, and speak to you all again soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Thanks so much, Louise. Thanks everyone. Bye.